I'm Dan Rich. I'm the, the curator and director of education at the St. Louis Holocaust Museum. Now, I knew Rita first because of my involvement with film series, first at the Art Museum, and then at the Holocaust Museum and Learning Center. But to know Rita meant that you knew Fred as well. And when I moved to the Holocaust Museum, I got to know Fred much, much better. For one thing, we both had a taste for wearing berets. I tended to only wear mine in the coldest wintry day. For Fred, it was much more of a regular fixture. We also, again, found we had something darker in common, a shared concern for genocide. Fred was very much a person of contrasts. He was a jolly, happy person, as we've just heard, and yet much of the study he did and that we talked about was about the horrors of genocide. And while he was in his role at Washington University, he was concerned with healing breast and ovarian cancer. Again, he was also studying the role of doctors, not in the role of healing, but in the role of taking of lives, and taking of lives on a mass scale. Because of their shared interest in the Bosnian genocide, Rita and Fred applied for grants to pursue studies of the role of doctors in such histories. And because of this, Fred's interest went further back to the Holocaust and the central role that doctors played there. This was something we talked about very often in the establishment of a culture that was based on racial hygiene. He would talk about the role that doctors played in the camps and literally in the inhuman medical experiments practiced on Holocaust victims. As many of you know, he was awarded a Fulbright grant in 2010 to study how physicians in Bosnia were involved in the genocide in Bosnia-Herzegovina, specifically in the cities of Sarajevo and Tuzla. When it came to this field of research, Fred and Rita truly were a couple, a pair, who worked together, each pursuing their own interests in this very intense study. Because of their ongoing concern for the Bosnian genocide, we at the Holocaust Museum and Learning Center were honored when Rita and Fred, as a couple, lit a special candle in remembrance of all who had perished in genocides since the Holocaust at last year's Yom HaShoah Holocaust commemoration. Like many, I will miss Fred's presence at a variety of lectures on a range of topics, especially on the Holocaust and on the Bosnian genocide. But no matter how somber the subject would be, whether it was deadly medicine or films that really showed the horrific dark side of human beings, Fred was not somber. He met everyone with a smile. He asked about how people were doing. He had something funny and warm to say, and showed everyone great concern and always expressed that with great sincerity. He was physically a big man in his field of study as he was in person, and his passing is going to leave a large empty space for his family most of all, but also for his friends, his associates, his colleagues, a group I am both humbled and honored to be considered a part of. Thank you.